When we fail at something, it becomes very easy for us to blame anything other than ourselves. Whether we blame it on the situation that we cannot control, we blame it on other people, we blame it on this mysterious circumstances like, oh, the universe isn't meant for me to achieve this thing. It is not really in my destiny. Believe all you believe. I'm not here to offend anyone who practice spirituality, psychic, or even any religions. I myself have looked and researched into manifestation too, but most of the time you gotta sit down with yourself and take accountability of the outcome of the situation. So as I said yesterday, when I was crying over my visa denial for the second time, that would have enabled me to study abroad, and then I ended up got rejected on visa even though my school accepts me as a student already, so I ended up not going. I was crying really bad, and I sat down thinking about what could go wrong in that interview. Are the consul officers too moody? Are the consul officers just overlooking documents? Or is it because my appointment time is later, so by the time that I got there, they're probably in a bad mood? I would try to come up with all of these reasons in order to justify why I fail. Or maybe the universe know that it is not my time to go study abroad. Maybe this is not really my destiny to go to study abroad. Maybe even though I practice all of this manifestation, I must be too desperate. So the universe does not hand me the manifestations. I try to come up with all of these reasons of why I fail. I blame it on everybody and everything except myself, because at the end of the day, it is my action that gets my visa denied, because other students that were in line with me, they got accepted. And there are a lot of times where it is very hard for us to accept that failure happened because of ourselves, especially when other people influence our decisions. So for example, if you are applying for scholarship, if you are applying for university, people have advised you to do this thing, to do that thing, and then you go for it. You decided to follow the advice, and then you ended up not getting accepted. That would easily make you feel like, hey, I failed not because of my action, but because of this person that gives me advice, that person that direct me to this path. That's why I fell, so I blame it on this person, that person. When in reality, not only is it your decision to follow as they say, but at the same time, it's also your action, because at that time you feel like it's the right advice, so you decided to go for it. And now that it doesn't work out, you blame it on other people. And I'm not saying to scold you or even for you to punish yourself for that. God knows I've been through the same thing. And I came across this quote on Substack: you should study what makes you defensive. The topic you avoid, the joke that irritates you, the question that feels insulting, the feedback you instantly reject. Defensiveness is usually the guard dog sitting in front of a weakness you have not trained yourself to face. In life, it is normal for us to not want to lose. And a lot of the times when we lose, when we fail, when we get rejected, our ego is so bruised up that in order to defend our ego, we get defensive. So one of the symptoms of defensiveness is to blame other people. I don't want you to pity yourself. I don't want you to talk bad, look down on yourself. You blame yourself too much in a sense that, oh my God, I fell at this is my fault, this is completely my fault, to the point where you victimize yourself, because that's also like the other end of the spectrums. But what I want you to do is learn to be better at catching that thought immediately the moment that it happened. Why does this topic irritates me? Why does this feedback hurt me? Why does this failure and rejection hurt me so bad? Why do I immediately think that the moment that I failed, it is the universe sign? It is other people not giving me this opportunity. It is other people not accepting me enough. Or even on the other end of the spectrum, when you are victimizing yourself, question yourself that way too. Catch that thought. Catch your action, what you are doing after you failed immediately. One of the relevant example that I can give you is Lewis Hamilton. Now, Lewis Hamilton is an F1 racing driver. He was driving for Mercedes for a decade, I think over a decade, before he is moving to Ferrari since last year in 2025. So it was his first year as a Ferrari driver in 2025, and to say the least, he was struggling. Either he crashes, or the engine did not work, or there was always something wrong with the car every time there was a Grand Prix in 2025. One of the things that I find really admirable about him is I have watched a few of his post-race interview where he was talking about how he felt about each Grand Prix after he was driving a car that he wasn't really satisfied with. But instead of blaming the team, instead of scolding anyone, instead of victimizing himself and feel like the world is against him, yes, even though he wasn't really satisfied with the car, there was also some part from himself that he could have done a lot better. He was working, really working behind the scene to have a car setup that is suitable for him, that works for him. And look at 2026, he got his first win at Ferrari in Barcelona Grand Prix. I was very proud of him. I find it very admirable that all throughout the season in 2025, where he really, really was at his lowest, he was still not victimizing himself. He was not blaming other people, except looking inward into himself and see how he could have done better to improve the car, to improve himself as a racing driver. A lot of the times when people were struggling, they get defensive, like, hey, I am capable of this. It's just that I fail at this time because this person is involved in it. Some people play part in influencing this, so that's why it is not my fault. And hey, as I'm sitting here, the reason why I even talk about it in the first place is because I was that person, and sometimes I still have that thoughts of like, oh, I get defensive super easily, oh, this happened because of other people. And when that thought happened immediately, I catch myself so quickly and ask myself immediately, why do I think that way? I just know that it's time to just sit down and talk with myself, because the bigger your ego is, the more you are not able to face the reality and how certain things can be part of your doing. I think sitting down, admitting yourself to certain fault, certain failures, certain outcomes of the situations, it enables me to take accountable of my action. And once I take accountable of my action, that's when I can proceed to the next step of like, now that you stay at your hometown and not study abroad, what's your plan? And that's only when I'm able to take the next step without growing resentment toward myself, toward other people, toward all the things that leads up to my failures, and hold grudges and walk the path without such heavy heart. It does not take one day for you to unlearn all of your toxic behavior that you could have. And I'm not sitting here blaming you either for not having unlearning it yet. It's always going to be a long journey. And I hope this video serves as a reminder to you that it is okay to take a little step at a time to unlearn your toxic patterns. So this is day 2 of improving my life, and I've learned something from me talking about it a little bit too. This video feels like I am self-reflecting because this is something that I am currently learning too. Now that I cried all out, I felt very relieved. Yes, I'm still sad, but hey, I feel a little bit better than yesterday, and that's all that matters. And it's gonna take quite some time for me to get used to the fact that my planning does not revolve around studying abroad anymore. My planning now revolves around what next step should I take in life right now that I stay in my hometown. It's gonna take some time for me to cope and learn to deal with it, especially when my dream ever since I was really young is to study abroad. I hope somehow this video either comforts you or you learn something from it, and if not, totally fine. Everyone is on their own journey. Self-help advice may not always work from you, so take what works, leave what doesn't. And also I want to ask you, how's your day? Let's discuss and build community with one another in the comment below. I'll see you later.